Welcome once again, gentlefolks, to another prediction and the betting tips video for your Ligue. That is, I hope you had a wonderful game week last week and you had some wonderful winnings and you cash in. This week we're going to start on Friday and we're going to head straight into it, and we're going to start with Strasbourg versus Ligue. Strasbourg had the win last week. Thanks be to God, they're finally starting to win a game. Well, they finally won a game. Yeah. But yeah. Yes, so no, for this prediction, Strasbourg versus Lille, I'm going to take this one. It's going to be a draw for me in my books. Both teams to score, I'm saying yeah. In terms of combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 1-1 here. And on the handicap system, I should go ahead and take something on the handicap system. Then I'm going to have to take Strasbourg as +1. Alright, that means that I should not lose this game by no more than a goal. Alright, so therefore, recapping predictions for Strasbourg versus Lille. I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm saying 1-1. And also on the handicap system, I'm going to take Strasbourg to go at +1. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Strasbourg versus Lille game. And moving on to our next game, which is on Saturday, and that is Lorient versus Stade Remis. Lorient versus Lemeris. Alright then, for this one, I'm expecting here Lorient to come away with the victory, but it's not going to be easy. Alright, Lorient to come away with the victory, and I'm also going to expecting both teams to score. In terms of combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 in favor of Lorient. Otherwise, Lorient might win this one 1-0 or 2-0. And it might end in a draw as well. As I just pointed as well, this has a possibility of ending in a draw as well. Also, so I'm going to go on the handicap system. I'm going to take Stade Remis at +1. Alright, Stade Remis at +1. Alright, so recapping my predictions for the Lorient versus Remis game here. I'm Lorient to win this one. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination, I'd say either team to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 in favor of Lorient. And also on the handicap system, I'm going to take Stade Remis at +1. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Lorient versus Remis game. And we're going to move on to our next game, which is Uns versus Montpellier. Alright, Uns versus Montpellier. For this one here, I'm expecting Uns to take care of business. Both teams to score, I'd say yes. In terms of a combination, I say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm going to take 2-1 in favor of Uns. And on the handicap system, I'll go with alright, let's see here. I'll go with -1 for Uns, but I'm going to take a draw on the -1, yeah? Based on my predicted scoreline. So recapping predictions for the Uns versus Montpellier game, I'm expecting Uns to win. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 2-1 in favor of Uns. And then on the handicap system, I'm going with a -1, but I'm going to go with a draw, alright? Based on my predicted scoreline, alright? So those are the predictions for the Uns versus Montpellier game. And so we're going to see that down over into our next game, which is Toulouse versus Angers. Alright, Toulouse versus Angers. So this game now, I'm expecting here. I think it's gonna be close in the sense that I think it could end in a draw. But I'm gonna go with Toulouse to take this one. Both teams to score, I'm going to say no. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm gonna say Toulouse to win this one 1-0. In terms of the handicap system, I go here ahead and I'll take Angers to at +1. I'll take Angers at +1, not lose this game by no more than a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Toulouse versus Angers game, I'm expecting Toulouse to win this one. In terms of both teams scoring, I'm saying no. In terms of a combination bet, I'm saying either team to win and both teams not to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm expecting Toulouse to win this one 1-0. And on the handicap system, I'll go with a +1 for Angers, alright? So those are my predictions for the Toulouse versus Angers game. And moving on to our next game, which is Auxerre versus Nice. Alright, Axia versus Nice. Axia versus Nice. This game now. Nice, I have high hopes for Nice this season. I expect them to do well enough. Right, so but they haven't been doing all that well so far. They haven't been doing been the greatest team in the league so far. So they're a little bit they're shooting below what I expected them to be honest with you. So I'm going to take this one to be a draw. Both teams to score, I say yes. In terms of a combination bet, I go with either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline for me, I'm going here with a 1-all draw. And so on the handicap system this time around, as if you were to take something on the handicap system, I suggest you take +1 for either Nice or +1 for Axia. And since Nice is the one that I expect to maybe be the heavier swinger, but Axia is at home, so you never know. So Axia can surprise them. So alright, I'm gonna take Nice, however, at +1. Alright, this means that they shouldn't lose the game and I'm gonna go if they do lose. Alright. So recapping predictions for this game, I'm expecting this one to end in a draw. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline from my perspective, I'm saying 1-all. And in terms of a bet on the handicap system, I'm saying here that Nice, I'm going with Nice at +1. Alright, so those are my predictions for the Axia versus Nice game. And now we're going to move on to Nantes versus Brest. And Nantes will be playing in Europe this week as well, and it's going to be somewhat of a quickish turnaround. We'll see how that affects the results this week, but I'm going to go with Nantes. The Nantes is usually a very good team at home, and they're not easy to beat at home. I'm going to say also that both teams won't score. And in terms of a combination bet, however, I'm going to go here. I'm going to say either team to win and both not to score. For me on this here, I'm going to go with a 1-0 victory for Nantes. And in terms of the combination, I should say the handicap system, for me, I would go with Nantes here. I'm going to take a draw. Alright, so this is a 1-0 win for them. So then if they should win this game by 1, then that means to end 1-all on the handicap system based on the -1 here, because if the team is starting at -1, that means they're starting a game a goal behind, and if they score, then that means they're level. And so them winning 1-0, see them basically ended in a draw. Alright, so hence the reason why I selected draw here. Alright, so recapping predictions for the Nantes versus Brest game, I'm expecting Nantes to win this one, and I'm also expecting that both teams not to score. In terms of a combination bet, I would say both teams not to score and either could win. And in terms of a scoreline, I'm going here with Nantes to win this one by a goal. Also, in terms of a handicap system, I'm going with a draw here. Alright, so a -1, but I'm selecting a draw in terms of a three-way -1. Three-way -1 for -1 being for the home team. I'm going to select a draw based on my scoreline. Alright, so those were my predictions for the Nantes versus Brest game. And now we're going to go to Rennes versus Lyon. Alright, Rennes versus Lyon. And for Lens versus Lyon, no, not Lens, I'm talking foolishness here. Sorry, Rennes. Yes, Rennes versus Lyon. Alright, Rennes versus Lyon. For this game, as I said, Lyon has been a little bit unpredictable. You don't know what you're going to get from them week in, week out. And so it's going to be an interesting one if you ask me. But I do believe this game, I think this game is anybody's game, to be honest with you. I think it's anybody's game. So I'm going to start here. I'm going to say that both teams should score. I'm going to go with a combination. Alright, either team to win and both to score. In terms of a predicted scoreline, now this is where it gets interesting, and this is where it gets a little bit tricky. It's going to be interesting. I really think it's anybody's game. Yeah, I think it's anybody's game, and I'm not really certain what this scoreline is going. This scoreline is going to be an interesting one, because it could be either way. It could be 2-1 for either team, and it could be a 2-all scoreline. Yeah, that's where it is for this game. But for this game now, I'm going to go here. I'm going to go with 2-1 win for Rennes. Yeah. In terms of the handicap system, I'll go ahead and I'm going to go here. And I'm going to go in terms of a -1 for Lyon. I'm going to go with a draw. Alright. I'm going to go with a draw. That means a bit of a -1 for Lyon. That means that start a game a goal behind. So if Rennes score, then it becomes a draw. Alright. So in terms of predictions for Rennes versus Lyon, I'm seeing here that both teams will score. And also, in terms of a combination, I'm seeing either team to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Rennes. And I'm going with a draw here on the handicap system, -1 for the away team. But I'm going with the draw here. Alright. So those are my predictions for the Rennes versus Lyon game. And now we're going to move on to the Troyes versus Ajaccio game. Alright. Troyes versus Ajaccio. Here, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination, I go with either to win and both to score. In terms of predicted scoreline, I'm going to come here and I'm going to say 2-1 in favor of Troyes. And on the handicap system here, I'd go with a +1 for Ajaccio. Alright, not to lose the game by no more than a goal. And so recapping predictions for Troyes versus Ajaccio, I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline 2-1 in favor of Troyes. And on the handicap system, I'm going with +1 for Ajaccio, alright? Which means they should not lose the game by no more than a goal. Ajaccio, that is. And then from that game, we'll move over to Monaco versus Clermont. And the Monaco versus Clermont now. Monaco had a fair enough game on the weekend. Game in which they should have scored more than, I think they scored 2, if memory serves me correctly. I think it was against Montpellier. They went to Montpellier. I think they won that one 2-0. They could have scored 300 there, I think, if memory serves me. I saw a bit of the game. Could have closed more than 2 goals. Yeah. But for this game now, Monaco playing in Europe as well. As I said, this week is somewhat. It's not really a quickish turn because they pushed this game all the way back to Sunday. So it helps. It helps somewhat. So I'm going here with Monaco to win this one. Sorry about that. Monaco to win. And I'm going to say here both teams not to score. In terms of a combination, I go with either team to win and both not to score. Predicted scoreline for me here. I'm going to say here again, I'm going to take a 2-0 win for Monaco. In terms of the handicap system, I would come here and I'm going to go with Monaco to win this one by a goal. Alright, so recapping predictions on Monaco versus Clermont. I'm expecting Monaco to win. I'm expecting both teams not to score. In terms of a combination, I'd say either team to win and both not to score. In terms of scoreline, I'm giving Monaco a 2-0 victory here. And on the handicap system also, I'll go with Monaco to win this one by a goal. Alright, and so next on the chopping block, next on the prediction block, is our final game of this game week, and it is actually Paris Saint-Germain versus Olympique Marseille. Alright, both teams playing in Europe this week, and I think PSG is playing today and Marseille might be playing tomorrow because I think last week they played on Tuesday, so this week they'll be playing on Wednesday in the Champions League, that is. Alright, and so for this game now, I am expecting here this one has a strong possibility of turning out into a draw, but PSG tend to do a little bit better at home than they do away. So for this game, I'm going to say both teams to score here, and I'm going to go with either to win and both to score. In terms of a predicted scoreline for me in this game, I am going to go with here a 3-1 victory for PSG. Otherwise, I would be surprised if it's a 1-0 or a 2-1 victory. Because as I said, based on the fact that they're playing in Europe this week and PSG is not the team, it's not the team that you can really. They are somewhat of an interesting team in terms of results. That is, I have grown accustomed to see them. We expect them to do well and they tend not to do well. Yeah, that's how they are. So in terms of a handicap system, I go with Marseille for +1 here. This means that Marseille should not lose this game by no more than a goal. But you'll be saying here, but might be looking and saying here, based on my predictions, predicted scoreline, that's not a good and bet on the handicap system. But as I just explained to you, PSG is unpredictable. Both teams are playing in Europe, as this game has a strong possibility of ending in a draw. So hence the reason why I'm going with a +1 on the handicap side of the business. Alright, so recapping predictions for PSG versus Marseille. I'm expecting both teams to score. In terms of a combination bet, I'd say either to win and both to score. Predicted scoreline, I'm saying 3-1 in favor of PSG. And also on the handicap system, I'm going with Marseille for a +1. Alright, so those are my predictions for the PSG versus Marseille game, and this is the end of my predictions for your Ligue for this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. Continue to watch the videos. Share with these videos on your social media platforms: WhatsApp, WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, all of those stuff. Share this video and continue to give this video your thumbs up and the likes, and thank you for your support, and continue to watch, and I hope you have a very great week this week in terms of betting and winning. Thanks again.